Hello team, today's challenge is Kaprekar's routine, where we're given a number and we need to figure out how many times we have to loop over and do Kaprekar's routine in order to get the result of 6174. Kaprekar's routine comes from a mathematician. His last name was Kaprekar, and he discovered that if you sort a number from highest to lowest, making the largest number possible out of those four numbers, and you do the same from lowest to highest, making the smallest number with those four digits, and you subtract the smaller from the larger, given enough iterations, you will get 6174. In fact, it can only ever be seven at most, which is kind of interesting to me. And if you think about 6174, the magic number that it is, well, if you take this at its largest, right, 7641 minus 1467, you get 6174. That's kind of where it goes. So very interesting stuff where he discovered that this number just magically exists. And so we are going to do exactly that with the numbers down here and return the right count, the right number of loops that we had to go through to get that final number, 6174. Okay. So with all of that, we need a utility. Okay. We are going to be sorting lots of different numbers. So we need to turn them into strings and then sort them and put them back together. And we need to be able to sort them in ascending and descending order, right? Making the biggest number, making the smallest number. So right here, I'm going to call that sort number because that seems like a good name. And that's what I picked last time. Right here is the number and the direction equals ASC for ascending. Could really be anything, but I'm going to set it as ascending because that makes me happy, right? That's the whole thing. So with that, we are going to get our sorted string, okay? Our sorted string is going to be, we need to convert that number into a string. We could go with number.toString, or we could just go capital S string number, okay? The nice thing about this is that if toString, whereas toString might fail with certain numbers, right? String will fail gracefully. So a little bit more power there, I guess, is what I'm looking for. But you could go either way on this. It works either way. So string the num, we're going to split it, okay? Splitting on every character at this point because it's a string, right? But it's really every digit. And then we are going to sort, okay? And that sort is going to be A and B. And inside of here, we are going to use that direction. So return dir equals ASC, just like this. Then it is A minus B, right? Otherwise, it is B minus A. Now, again, every time I do this, I hint at the fact that if you send in anything other than ASC, you will get the B minus A version. But today we're going to have ASC, and we're also going to use DESC for descending, right? That's pretty common stuff. But just be aware that you could send through anything that is not ASC, and you would get your descending format. Little gotcha there to be aware of. At this point, we join it. So join, back up, and what do? Well, we return the string converted back to a number because we want to do the math to it, right? So for that, we're going to do something very similar to that string since we're already in here and send in sorted num. Okay. This is our, sorted string. Sorry, it's not highlighting. Little hints. Good. This is our utility that lets us go and get the biggest number and the smallest number. At which point down here, we can actually use those, right? So we're going to set up a few things. We're going to set up our count. We're going to set that to 0. And we're going to set something that I'm going to call cap, okay? So cap is going to be n because this is going to be what we constantly circle around on, okay? Because this is just a number, you could actually just alter n, right? Every single time. It would work. It's not a big problem, but I like this, right? I like to be able to separate it out and say, I'm changing this one, not this one. Just in case, right? Just in case they pass an array or something like that, even though we should probably have some error handling for that, okay? Down here, we return count, which means that inside of here, we want a loop, okay? Now, the quickest way to do this is just to go cap not equal to, what was it? 6174 is the magic number, right? If cap doesn't equal that, then we do our work, okay? So const biggest equals sort number. There it is. Words are tripping me up right now, but we're going to do that. We're sending in our cap number, and we're sending it to descending, okay? Otherwise, we're getting the smallest, okay? Just like this. That's going to be the cap again, and this is going to be ascending, okay? At which point we get those, so we're going to go cap, cap equals biggest minus smallest. Keys, like words and keys, they're kind of tripping me up today, but hopefully this is making sense. And then down here, of course, we need to increment that counter. That is plus equals 1. Excellent, okay? At this point, it works. But after I did this, I did some research, okay? And that's where I learned that, yeah, even 6174 is 7641 minus 1467 equals 6174. So it leads me to believe that regardless of anything, we should be running this at least one time. And if that's the case for Kaprekar's routine that leads to, he calls it Kaprekar's constant, right? Then we should actually be using something different. So instead of the while, we should probably do a do while, right? So we're going to grab all this. I'm going to cut it away. We're going to go do, and then we're going to put while down here. And it still works, but it runs at least one time. And that's the difference between do while and while. Okay, the check comes after, whereas with a while loop, the check comes first. So if we hit Kaprekar's constant, right, this number, then we might return 0 when we in fact wanted to return 1, right? Depending on how you interpret it, the whole routine, the way the routine should work. But with do while, we return 1, right? Because we always return 1. And again, the nice thing about this is that so long as we're very careful with our condition here, we can only ever go a maximum of 7 times, right? Some numbers are a little bit tricky. I tried it with 1,000. It just ran away. So there are things that I don't understand, but if you try it with 1,100, it absolutely works. It's 4 times. Interesting stuff, right? Again, this is it today. So some interesting math, right? Where we are, we're getting the biggest number and the smallest number, right? That's what we're doing down here. And then if they are Kaprekar's constant, 6174, we return whatever the count was. Otherwise, we do it all again, right? Not every solution, just hopefully one good solution. I kind of like this. It's always fun with some of these math ones, but let me know what you think, right? Do you find the math ones fun too? Did you like this? Did you hate it? Did you go a different way? All that stuff right into my comments. Otherwise, today this has been Kaprekar's routine, which uses Kaprekar's constant, and I will see you tomorrow.